So today I'm going to be taking a look at the Honor 50 in 2023. This phone was released in June of 2021, offering some really good mid-range specs for around the 450 quid asking price. But now the Honor 50 is available for 300 quid brand new from the likes of Argos, but also considerably less if you look on eBay or something like that. And that's exactly what I did. So is the Honor 50 worth buying in 2023? Let's take a look. So as for the design of the Honor 50, it's a glass back design with matte plastic sides. Luckily the sides are pretty slim, so fingerprints are hard to come by. And I've got the phone in emerald green, but this phone is also available in frost crystal, amber red, midnight black, or the rather unique Honor code. And like all glass phones, the back is prone to fingerprints, but of course this can easily be hidden with a case, or if you pick the black model, they are hidden pretty well. The bottom of the phone houses the single bottom firing speaker, USB-C charging port which supports 66 watt fast charging, a microphone and a slim slot with no provisions to expand with a micro SD card. The left of the phone is clean, and on the right you have your power button and volume buttons. The top of the phone houses a pair of microphones, and overall the phone has a really nice premium build, and it's pretty lightweight at only 175 grams and less than 8mm thick, which makes it very manageable in the hands. Helping out with the handling is the relatively modest curved 6.57-inch Amoled display. This is also blessed with a fast 120Hz refresh rate for smooth everyday use. And this is a dynamic refresh rate as well, so will adjust depending on what you're doing to conserve power. And color accuracy on the Honor 50 display is really good too. And setting the display to vivid makes everything look nice and punchy, but without going over the top. The Honor 50 comes with a large 4300 mAh battery as well, which serves you all day battery life with no problems. It is a little bit smaller than the 5000 mAh found on other budget devices, but 4300 mAh is still plenty to get you through a full day. But in the unlikely event that you do manage to kill it in a day, you do get super fast 66 watt fast charging, which can get you from 0 to 50% in half an hour, and a full charge will take less than an hour. And as for software, out of the box, the Honor 50 is running Android 11 with Magic UI version 4.2 on top. However, you can update to Android 12 and Magic UI version 6.0 with November 2022 security patch. So it's nice and up to date. Overall, I do like Magic UI, which is something I've mentioned in previous Honor reviews. It only comes with a couple of preloaded apps and games that you can easily uninstall, and there's no ads in the software like you do find with MIUI. And there are plenty of customization options with themes and wallpapers, etc. So overall, my experience using Magic UI has been pretty positive. And performance comes courtesy of the Snapdragon 778G processor built on a 6nm architecture, and along with the Reno 642L GPU offers very dependable performance, with games being handled with no problems. And with up to 12GB of RAM, there's plenty available to handle everything you throw at it. I have the base model with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of base storage, but there is also an 8GB of RAM option with either 128 or 256GB of storage, but the 12GB RAM option is only available with 256GB of storage. And lastly, let's talk about the camera of the Honor 50. It's headlined by a 108MP f1.9 primary camera, which does 9-in-1 pixel binning to produce 12MP photos. These are detailed with natural color and good dynamic range. There is an AI mode that does help boost the scene a bit, but to my eyes doesn't go overboard. And the camera does a good job with finer areas, retaining respectable amounts of detail. The ultra-wide camera is less impressive and much the same as other budget phones. It's the standard 8MP camera with an f2.2 aperture, which unsurprisingly doesn't perform as well, producing softer photos with less detail, especially in those finer areas that the main camera handled so well. And the last two cameras are the standard 2MP macro and depth cameras, and the macro camera is okay, but not one I use that often. There are a few extra camera features such as high-res mode, panorama and pro mode, and there's also a HDR mode, which unfortunately there isn't a toggle at the top that you can just tap, which you do have on other phones. You have to go into more to get that feature. And the Honor 50 doesn't do too bad in nighttime shots either, and there is a dedicated night mode which does a great job brightening the photo and bringing out a lot more detail. And as for video, the Honor 50 can shoot 4K video at 30fps, which is electronically stabilized. This is nice, sharp video with great color. And if you want 60 FPS video, you'll have to drop the resolution to 1080p. And video from the ultra-wide is capped at 1080p at 30 FPS. And like the photos, is softer with noticeably less detail. And quickly onto selfies, the Honor 50 has a 32 megapixel f2.2 camera which can shoot 1080p video at 30 FPS. Photos from this camera are nice, well detailed with good color. Exposure was handled well, even in slightly tricky lighting conditions. Overall, a competent selfie camera. So that's my look at the Honor 50 in 2023. All in all, it's a really pleasant experience. You've got a gorgeous 120Hz AMOLED display, really great battery life with that super fast charging, really good performance, even about 18 months later, and a great overall camera experience, including video. At this price, of course, there are other alternatives from the likes of Samsung, Oppo and Motorola, but at this $299 asking price, I don't think you'd be disappointed if you did pick up a Honor 50. And I was lucky enough to snag mine off eBay on a Black Friday deal for 159 quid in basically new condition. So I've got a really good phone here at a really great price. But let me know in the comments what you think of the Honor 50, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed content like this, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.